So Yeshua says, well, you're a scholar learned in the Torah. He says, what's it say in the Torah? How do you read it? Now, don't miss the context here. He told that person, indirectly at this point, more directly in a minute, the answer was in the Torah. The answer is not in the Brit. Brit didn't exist yet. There was no New Testament. The answer wasn't something they didn't know and couldn't receive yet because nobody had said it yet. The answer was in the Torah. Let's be clear. He says, what has been written in the Torah about everlasting life? How do you understand it? All right, so we're starting off this trying to understand loving neighbor. Number one, what did we learn? It has to do with compassion. Okay? Loving the neighbor. Actually, what was necessary before compassion? Awareness. Seeing and being aware that there was a need. Not just seeing. I mean, you could see the person laying there and decide, well, they're lying there. It's not my problem, you know? But having an awareness that there was an opportunity, okay, that you can show compassion. The Father understands the sun rises on both the wicked and the righteous. He understands that the rain falls on the righteous and the unrighteous. We're all living on this planet. The Father has to still do the calling, revealing, etc. With those in the above, there's a different level of awareness that there's choices in our response. If you're going to love your neighbor, you're going to have to create space. It's already there, but it happens so quickly you don't even know it's there. The space between the thing that happens and your response. You may perceive it as them persecuting you and picking on you and insulting you, when really it may not be. It could be your perception of it. But these are not literal enemies he's talking about here. Those that you're perceiving as enemy. Those that may be acting in some manner like an enemy. So it's both. I mean, it's not just you perceiving it. They may actually really be doing certain things. But like your Father in heaven, he knows that you're a work in progress. You got to know that that person is a work in progress. You know how you'll know you're Yeshua-like? Okay? One of the ways you'll know that you're getting Yeshua-like is when you never again say the words, so-and-so made me feel this way, or made me do this, or made me do that. Well, you made me angry. No, I didn't. Well, you made me upset. No, I didn't. You broke my heart. No, I didn't. You did. No, you chose to respond to whatever dumb thing I did. Now, it's not that I didn't do anything, but I can't make you. If you can get to the point where you have that space, you can realize that nobody can make you respond any particular way. You can choose. You can choose. And all of us have the problem that we still have way too much self. So when it says love your neighbor as yourself, okay, well, how would you treat yourself? Actually, part of the problem is you can't love your neighbor as yourself because you treat yourself badly. Your internal talk, your self-talk, worse than anybody probably, even you would ever allow to talk to you the way you do. Well, I'm just such a loser. I can't do nothing right. Nobody wants me. Why would the Father call me? I can't do anything right. I'm blah, 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 blah. And then, of course, you treat your neighbor badly because you don't even treat yourself well. And so if we are going to be filled with that intrinsic nature, the fruit of that nature is being able to love an enemy. That's the fruit of having his nature. Don't think of it as some magical, mystical, ethereal thing that the spirit thing comes in you and now all of a sudden you can love an enemy. I would venture to guess that all of you for quite a while have had that ruach in you. He has given you his ruach for quite a while. And guess what? You still struggle loving an enemy. You still struggle with joy in your trials. You still struggle with a lot of the 9 aspects of the fruit. Why? Because it has nothing to do with this magical, mystical energy force that comes into you. You've got to embrace his intrinsic nature. And some of you have said that to your children or to your spouse. Man, you're just hard to love. No, they're not. They're hard for you to love. Let's be clear. wow, man, you're sitting there talking to your spouse, man, that boy or that girl, my daughter, your son, whatever it is, they're just so hard to love. Or a friend or somebody in the congregation, they're so hard to love. No, they're not. They're hard for you to love. This is an important distinction. Yeah, but every time I try to be nice to them, they kick me, spit on my... Yeah, that makes it challenging in terms of what to do and how to express your love, but it doesn't mean they're hard to love. It just means you haven't figured out how to do it. You're the one struggling, not them. Well, I just wish they would change so I wouldn't have to do it. That's the problem. I think we have to learn this. We have to understand how to be nice when other people are not being nice, and be nice when other people are really... It's all about that self, though. Well, you don't understand the way she talked to me or the way he talked to me. And our response, if I'm teaching, should be, so? What does that have to do with anything? Well, he was yelling at me. So? Well, she was cursing at me. So? That person's in pain. That person thinks you're the cause of the pain. They think you're the cause of the pain. So why not treat them with trying to alleviate that problem instead of fighting and arguing and defending yourself, but recognize that they're in pain. Our problem is we're a walking, talking time bombs. Because we never let you are like a giant walking minefield. And then you walk and talk to somebody, and eventually, guess what? They're going to step on something and hear a click and go, uh-oh. And that probably is the only thought they get to have before the explosion is in their face. It may not even be uh-oh. It may be like click, boom. There might not even be time for the uh-oh. Okay? But think about it. You are like a walking, living minefield, and it's extending out around you.